Hey, 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 friends, welcome back. I'm here to paint. It's been a couple weeks. Don't know why, been busy. Had a couple openings probably since I was on. Last night had an opening in town at Pop Revolution, Gallery 42, a flower show. Have 6 paintings in there. One is sold. And then last Friday we had an opening at Sinclair College here in Mason, our Farm to Feast exhibit. We have about, I think, 60 paintings, my Monday group, and I have 7, and 2 of those are sold. So life is good. Going to paint tonight on an 8x10 Centurion panel. I didn't tone it because I'm doing something a little different tonight. Let me see if I can get you back and show you what we're going to do. See if I can get you back after I do that where you belong. All right. I put some things in a box tonight. Don't always do it this way. A lot of times I set things up, as you know, with a screen behind it. But this is a fun way if you've never done this. You can make this very dramatic. I have an overhead light on because I need the light to paint, but you could paint in a darker environment. Let me get up. Of course, it's light outside right now too. Let me get up. I can reach. Turn the overhead light off for a moment. See, you know, even that makes it better in my opinion. I've done similar things. Now we're looking at an angle, but I've done similar things too where I just let things hang out of the lip of the box. So it's kind of like trompe l'oeil. I did a real sweet painting years ago of, no, actually it was like these white daisies that you see here. And I had some of them hanging out of the lip, and came out pretty nice. I think if I remember right, I painted like a mat on it, so it looked very, again, like a, you know, trompe l'oeil kind of piece. All right, let's bring it back. See if we can do this. Tilt you back up. I have my EZL view catcher so I can see what how to set up my composition. All right, what we're going to do is, I have some burnt sienna out here, which I don't use very often, but I'm going to, and I may even throw some ultramarine in it, I'm not sure yet. Yes, I am. And I'm going to just tone the background. These are water mixable oils. I have some of the Gamblin solvent-free liquid here I'm mixing into. You can mix water in them. I try not to. And I could have done this beforehand, but this is part of our process here, as you'll see. See if I can get up under that lip. I don't know. This is not typically how I use this studio easel. I usually tape my canvas to the board. It seems to shake around so much. We're trying something different here. I don't use burnt sienna. Normally it's not on my palette, though it is a nice color. I use the transparent red oxide all the time. But I had a big tube of this I bought years ago, and might as well use it, right? It's a beautiful color. Weather's starting to warm up finally. Oh, I'm so glad. Of course, it probably won't stay. We have a saying, I live in Ohio. We're in Ohio, wait a day, it will change. And that's kind of what we do around here. So, but it is supposed to warm up this week, and I am scheduled to go out to paint Tuesday, so I hope I get to. I'm anxious to do that. Going to Lebanon, Ohio. It's a sweet historic town north of here. A lot to paint. Yeah, we got it covered, and that's a kind of a nice color. And I'm going to look through this Easel, I guess you call it a viewfinder. I'm not sure what they call it. I'm going to look through there over at this setup and make some marks and do some wiping and figure out placement. If you've never painted this way, it's kind of fun and different. That's about the total shape of the pot. And then the edge of the apple must be there. We'll wipe these out over here. I have a DVD by C.W. Munday, and he just does a lot of different things, but the one I have is kind of interesting, where he blocks in the whole canvas with all different color dark paints before he starts, and drags a paper towel across it to create texture. And yeah, I always say there are so many things you can do with every medium. Painting's just so much fun. All right, so again, I'm kind of sketching into the wet paint. I like seeing down into the ellipse a bit. I think I mentioned it last time. I notice sometimes Carol Marine, I'm sure you know who she is, pretty famous, but she'll sometimes paint dead on. You see the absolute edge of an object. I don't think I've ever done that, but you know, we're just kind of playing around and sketching in our objects. So let's do a little, I got a paper towel in my hand, let's do a little wiping too. Because with this layer being wet, obviously it's going to mix in whatever we put on top of it. And you might or might not care, depending on, I'm looking at color and value. It's dark here, it's darker here. This is really where the light is on that back apple. So that might be good enough. Let's wipe a little bit of this off too, maybe where our highlights are. This is copper. If you've never painted copper, it can be an awful lot of fun. Kind of blocking out where our daisies are. And I could be more precise, but with a little brush. And we could wipe out the whole pot, you know, whatever we wanted to do. And I'll be going over everything again, but trying to do a kind of dramatic setup, you know. So we'll be probably going darker yet over this, which I'm a little tempted to do that maybe now before we move ahead. Because why not? That burnt sienna is really pretty though, isn't it? I think warm backgrounds actually are this is my opinion, and I've read it before too, that warm backgrounds are more appealing to the eye. What do you think? If you're an artist, you hear an awful lot of stuff, don't you? An awful lot of opinions. For whatever most of them are worth, you decide what to take from it. And I move the light around, trying to decide if I wanted it low or high, or just a little bit of light peeking in. I could have made it, you know, all about the daisies in the front of the apple. I could have done that and hid it that way. And I wouldn't have had to use a brush. I could have wiped out the whole thing with a paper towel. So there it is. That's good enough to, I think, to get us going. I like the water mixable oils. I like the idea of the water cleanup, and I don't have a solvent in front of me. I'm not breathing that, so I think it's less toxic. And I am trying to even get away from CAD. I have always used CAD Yellow Medium and CAD Red Light, and I am getting away from those too. So trying to make it as healthy as I can. All right. I think we'll start maybe with our cleanest colors. You know what I didn't get out is a palette knife. Let me grab a palette knife. So I think we'll start with our daisies, no particular reason. And they're white. And even the part that's hit by the most light, I'm going to put a tiny bit of yellow in it, not pure white. Most people say don't use pure white. Some people do. But I like it a little warmer, you know, if it's going to feel like it's hit by the light. So a little yellow. And a little bit of blue in some. Get it a little bit darker. A little cooler. I usually try to do 3 values for most things, though I don't really know that I see that here, but yeah, I'm going to get some of it a little darker and some a little cooler, and then some nice and white with a little yellow in it. Took a fall the other night. I guess that was, I don't know what, last Monday or Tuesday night, walking outside. I walk hard and fast. I was saying, you might think I'm older and I took an old person fall, but I walk really hard and fast. I pass most people on the track. So I'm outside walking up the sidewalk at that fast pace, and I see a little nut on the sidewalk, so I kick it as I'm strolling along, and it rolls in front of me. So when I took a second swipe at it, I think I rolled across it, and I fell, I went poof, poof, and fell like, you know, shooting somebody out of a cannon, and I landed on my chin. It was a shock. So I stand up immediately. I'm bleeding all over. Some car stopped and was, "Are you okay?" You know, you're just kind of in a daze. So I started off walking. I threw my phone. Thank God I didn't break my phone. So I could tell I'd hurt under my chin. That's where I landed. So I called my husband, and I made it across the trail, and then he picked me up, and bled all over my shirt and my shoes, But got a big boo-boo under my chin, and I hit my cheekbone, and I hurt my hand and wrist, and my jaw still hurts, and I'm still not chewing quite right, which concerns me a little. I'm hoping, given time, it will heal. Completely my fault, just stupid playing around, you know. Lesson learned. I will not do that again. But I am grateful that it is not, could have been, I could have knocked all my teeth out of my mouth. You know, that would have been devastating. So I'm grateful it wasn't worse. Okay, I'm hitting the lightest part of these daisies first. You know, I'm not usually one to paint every little petal I see, but, you know, they're more impressionistic, but I am kind of doing that right now because that's the light pattern that I'm seeing. And now we'll go to our next color, which is a little more blue. Definitely more blue. There are a few areas that are a little bit darker. It doesn't mean that I necessarily have anything right, but I don't care. We don't know that till we, you know, get further along. I think I told you, I think it's Craig Nelson. It says it's only wrong if you leave it, something like that. So, I mean, there's a fair chance you're not going to get it right in the first place. So, I have no idea what that is. I think it's a leaf. It doesn't matter. All right, let's move on to these nice green apples. And we definitely will be mixing 3 values for them. Let's try some ultramarine and some cad yellow medium. Which is a very true, fairly dark green. I'm going to bring some white over into some of that now. And bring some more yellow into it. Because this area here that's lit is pretty light and pretty yellow. And into that green that we made, I need to go a bit darker on some of it. And I think and I could put more ultramarine in it to pull it darker. I'm going to put a little crimson in it. And then maybe a little ultramarine. They always say it's more about value than it is about color. And I'm sure that's true, you know. And a lot of people don't care about color. They focus on value and do some very exciting paintings. So it's a good lesson just to do studies like that. And I've done that at workshops, do little same thing. We did it like 4 times, and we'd use different, like mostly reds in one, purples in one, yellow, but we focused on value and not color, and it worked. All right, I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe I don't. I was gonna say I was gonna stick with this little brush, but maybe I won't. I'll go a little bigger. That's awful tiny. And it might even been too tiny for the daisies, but. So let's get into this really light color first. The advantage of a bigger brush and a bristle brush is obviously you load more paint on there, and if you like impressionism and you like texture, it's easier to do with a larger bristle brush. There's one bit of that light back there, and then the part of this is catching that light. I found a new gal I like. I may have mentioned her before. Jennifer Sampson, I think is her name. She paints here on YouTube, and she's got a newer channel. I like her work a lot, and she does a lot of plein air, even in the winter. Man, you got to hand it to her. But I think she films like holding her camera in her hands. I see other people do that too. I don't know how well I would do with that. Maybe. I feel like I need my other hand. I don't know how often I should pay attention to that, right? How often do I actually use it? I don't know. I feel as though I do. Anyway, check her out. I think it's Jennifer Sampson, I want to say. I hope that's right. She's funny too, because she talks to herself, like we do. That's basically what I'm doing here, right? It's just really cute, I don't even know we're in a box. There is a shadow here. I see some warmth in there. Good old fake fruit again, but hard to tell the difference. I wish our grocery wouldn't clean up our fruit so well. I love leaves on fruit if I'm going to paint it, but it's hard to find that, at least where I go. You ever go shopping for props? People must think we're nuts. I'm setting my pears up, playing with my pears, turning them around. People must wonder, what the heck is she going to do? They gotta look good before I eat them, right? So anyway, the copper pot, what's copper? It's basically orange, right? So let's take some cad yellow medium, And this is not cad red light. Actually, it's because I'm getting away from the cads. I'm thinking it's, let me tell you, wait a minute. I saved a little bit of it for painting outside this summer because it's really nice for flowers, that nice warm red, but see, I'm almost out. That's all I have. And this is vermilion, which is nice and warm too. Again, I'm just trying to get away from cads. I was watching a guy demo yesterday. Eric Rhodes comes on in the middle of the day, and he has different people on Facebook, and the guy was talking about kind of encouraging people to like do finger fixes on stuff, and Eric Rhodes said, I do not agree with that. And he said, he had a friend, I guess, diagnosed with all kinds of tumors in his liver, and they felt like because he was an artist that attributed to it. I don't know. We don't know, do we? But I understand the cads do absorb into your skin, so why take a chance, right? And a lot of people wear gloves. I do not do that. I should do that probably. But a lot of people I see wear gloves. They use solvent and they're wiping all the time. The rag they hold is in that gloved hand. And but again, I should wear them. All right, let's move on. I like so far what we got going. I like the feel of the warmth background. And again, okay, back to copper. Copper is orange. Like here I see some green reflection, which will be nice from the apples. And I've got a real intense highlight there where I wiped out. So, you know, it's a variety of orange tones. So I mixed some yellow and red, and I'm putting some burnt sienna in some of it, which makes it a little darker. And I probably will even put some ultramarine in some of it. Get something, you know, that's quite a bit darker. Look around and see if I got anything that's that dark. Most exciting thing about it is the highlights, really. Well, let's look and see if we got anything really dark. I mixed up something really dark. Let's look at that first. Pretty dark in there. And over in there. This process is a good way to have lost edges too. You know, you can just blend that edge into the background if you like that look and you don't want to explain it. This is a good way to make a very exciting painting. Just looking for the darks that I see. I mean, you could really get away with leaving it like that probably and go and throw your highlights in, and it probably would read as copper. And we'll put a little more yellow in it. I mean, just play with it. Put a little more yellow, maybe a little white. Just Like I said, we're going to have our highlight here, so the handles actually look more like brass. Adjusting that ellipse a little bit. Whatever you need to do. Like I said, the handles are more yellow looking. Yeah, some of it's lighter and some of it's darker, so. That may be a little too cool. warmed that up a lot better, huh? Going back to the background and using that to adjust our shapes. Just jumping around. Like I said, and it would be your call as to whether you wanted this to be a lost edge, or, you know, we could lighten it up a little and suggest an edge. But it is a chance to have a lost edge if you like that. Getting a little more saturated orange in there just to make it more exciting. I can see that this needs to go back. The back edge of that handle doesn't feel right. So let's adjust that. All right. Looks like it hits about there. might be fun to, because there is a bit of a ridge right here, to take our green and put it right here. You know, like it's picking up on that ridge. Make it a little more exciting. Kind of suggesting some stems. I think what we'll do is we'll go a little lighter down here on the bottom. And I may take a brush and blend over this background once I take it off the easel. There's not really a stem on the back one. There may have been at one time, but it's not there anymore. With that hidden light, you know, that probably would too, wouldn't it? We're going to get back into that white with the yellow that we started for our highlights on our daisies. And I'm going to hit those areas with a palette knife. Even though that's got a lump in there. I'm going to put the highlight back. pulling color back and forth. I put a little bit of the copper color in the apple. So we're getting close. This is kind of a fat brush for this, but let me use a palette knife. But you can go underneath where you put this center color in, and then let's go a little lighter on this center here. Just looking around to see if there's anything I want to change. Again, once I get it off of here, I'm gonna probably smooth out the background a little bit. Probably saying, what are you doing? You just messed that up. Maybe. Nothing's a done deal. That's what I like about oils. I was talking to a lot of people last night and met a group of women that came in that are all learning watercolor. Boy, watercolor is a tough medium, isn't it? And what I like about the oils is they are so forgiving. You know, we can just go over and over and over them. I'm looking at the shapes of my lips here. Lips can be tricky. I think it feels right. I won't really know till I get away from it. I heard Craig Nelson talking about that yesterday. When's the painting done? And he's got a friend. He said that it's kind of what I do. I set these on my hearth in there, and I walk back and forth by them. See if anything doesn't look right. And when nothing else bugs you, I guess it's done, right? This background color is really nice for copper because you know, it's close to the color of copper, so. And the background is fairly thin. I feel like I still maybe want to kick that up. It could be more exciting, you know. Things don't have to be exactly like you see them. I'll look at it and decide. You know, there's a lot of like little dents in the copper, so it isn't like this is a hard line up here. Well, I'm going to quit there for now and look at it. right, let me get you in front of it so you can see it head on. I'll look with you, see what I see. I think I feel like the ellipse is it's a little off. So I'm gonna maybe work on that a little bit. It feels a little something about it. So they're tricky, like I say, but the things I like the texture in the flowers and the apple. You know, you could even explain a lot less of this copper if you wanted. You know, this could be mostly a lost edge. Whatever you want to do. So it's fun. I mean, it makes, again, I think it makes for a fairly dramatic still life. So try it. You know, do the burnt sienna. I did use ultramarine also in the background. And you can wipe your whole painting out then if you want and start from there. But yeah, I'm feeling like this is maybe too light even too. I know that. I'm sorry, that goes out of focus when I get my hand in there. So this was about an hour, and I'll get it uploaded. And please like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And maybe we'll get out. I keep saying that. Maybe we'll get outside soon. Like I said, I do plan to go out Tuesday, but I don't know if that'd be a place that I can bring you along. But maybe I can do a short and show you where I am in the beginning and the end kind of thing. All right. Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your day and joining me. All right. Catch me next time. Bye-bye.